Hello, I'm Shannon. Welcome to your online orientation to get you up to speed with where you need to be to get the most out of your HPW Real Estate Pre-Licensing course online. To get started, I'd like to welcome you with my whole heart and also to get you acclimated to the Zoom platform. Ultimately, you want to make sure that you have a strong an internet connection as you possibly can. If you're ever having any troubles in Zoom, please make sure that you know that it is optimized to work with Chrome as your browser. So try to connect using Chrome and never attempt to connect via a cell phone. Make sure that you are in a quiet, distraction-free location and understand that you need to be live on camera with a working mic and microphone in order to be able to be counted as present for class. Attendance is counted minute by minute, and that does include being live on camera, but it also includes participation. So please make sure that you are leaned in and engaged and working with me as we're going through the classroom. Couple of things to know in Zoom, you can use the mute button to open your microphone or to close it so that you're muted. That's really helpful for managing classroom noise, but ultimately, please come off mute and talk to me if you wish to. You can also use the start and stop video button to engage your video or your camera. And you can go to the little teepee buttons on both the microphone and the video to learn more options about audio and video features. Now, if you go to the participants button or even a reactions button, which you may have, that's where you're going to go to virtually raise your hand while we're in class. Please go ahead and click that button and leave it up while you have a question or a comment so that I can come back and answer it when we're at a good stopping point to get to you. You're also going to be using the chat feature in order to connect directly with me while we're in class. This is what you'll use if you need to step away from camera for any amount of time. Just pop in there, I'll be right back. And then when you get back, that you can put what time that you came in so that I can give you that minute-to-minute attendance credit to confirm and prove that you were here during those times or that you walked away. This is also a great place for you to pop in any questions that you might have or to communicate with me. The one thing I'll ask you is that you'll use the direct message feature as a rule, as opposed to sending your messages to everyone. Now, you're going to want to make sure that you have named yourself in your Zoom participation so that you are the name that matches up with your real estate school registration. So you can do that when you first log into a Zoom meeting by clicking join the meeting after you've updated your name. If you click the button that says remember my name for future meetings, then you'll never have to update it again and just click join. Otherwise, you can do the same by under the participants tab, either clicking the more or rename button, or you can hover over your video screen to the three buttons or the three dot buttons and select that you would like to rename yourself, and it will change your name right there. If you're ever having any trouble with anything Zoom related, it's just sometimes that the system gets hiccups. Sometimes what you're seeing is different than what I see, and I'll be happy to help you with any kind of technical issues that you might be having. I also highly recommend that you hit the button that says gallery view or speaker view and that you go through class in speaker view. It'll be really fun while we're doing introductions and things of that nature to be able to see your classmates. But when we dig in and we start focusing on class information, it will be much more likely that you'll be able to focus if we're on speaker view instead of gallery view. We will meet Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. My name is Shannon Lashley. Feel free to add my cell phone number to your contact list so you can text me. You can also email me at shannon@empoweru.com. And please feel free to join me on Facebook at Shannon Lashley Real Estate Instructor.com for helpful tips, study strategies, what's going on in the current market, and also what kind of classes and tutoring sessions I have coming up. You will need to go on to hpwres.com /register for class. and complete the student enrollment contracts. You're going to put your full legal name. It should match up to what is on your driver's license and ultimately will match up to what you are applying to the real estate commission using that name. If this name is any different than the name that you use to register for class, simply contact the school and update that so that you've got your full legal name here, and it won't give you any trouble at the end of class when you go to apply with the real estate commission. You're also going to put today's date in the box up top, check off broker pre-licensing, and then put the start date and end date of your course, and then the class schedule, which is Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. On the bottom part of the form, you're going to enter in how much you paid for the course. I know that you've already paid, just go ahead and confirm that here, and how you paid. If you paid online via a Visa card, then you'll just put online by Visa. If it was MasterCard, online by MC, American Express, Amex, etc. You're going to put the number 2 in the blank under the number 4 option. And then if you have any special provisions, you'll need to get a special provisions form from your physician. Enter the information in the box here and then make sure that we have that form by the end of your first week so that we can make any special accommodations as necessary for you. Now, the last part of the form is very important. You're going to type in your name and you must include the last 4 digits of your social security number. Type in that you've signed it online and then put your best email address down here at the bottom. Making sure that you have the last 4 of your social security number will also match up the information as it's required for us to be able to give that to the real estate commission at the completion of your course so that you can finish your application and get your exam eligibility notification. Now, as we're getting started, remember that you must be on camera, you must be live and in person, and you must be engaged and participating throughout the class to get attendance credit. The Real Estate Commission says you can miss up to 15 hours of our 75-hour class. Now, all tardiness from breaks at the beginning of class or any time that you step away from the camera will be counted against you and against your overall absence. But I will tell you now, the more time that you miss, the less successful you're going to be on the class final. And if you happen to get through the class final, then especially on your licensure exam. So make every effort to be here and to be engaged as much as you possibly can. And don't get anywhere near missing 15 hours. Otherwise, it might feel a little uncomfortable once you start getting towards the end because we have so much information to cover and nothing's repeated. Now, we do have a final class exam, and you will be getting more information on that as we get through class, but ultimately at the culmination of the class, you will be receiving a final exam that is comprehensive in nature. It will cover national and state specific topics, and you must have a 75% or better on that exam to pass the class, in addition to meeting the attendance and participation requirements. Once you have passed the final exam, then you will be eligible to get your certificate of completion and go on to apply to the Real Estate Commission for your exam eligibility, and then you'll go on to take your national and state comprehensive exam. While you're in class, please show up, please dress up, and please be right. Ultimately, it does pay to look nice. You never know what kind of visitors we're going to be having in classes. And you're going to have your networking team from all of the other people that are in class with you and watching you. So please just make sure that you take pride in your appearance when you come into class. You will be needing to bring to your class every day a notebook and pen to take your notes, a very basic, non-programmable, non-alphabetic calculator that is in preparation. You will be able to take a calculator into your exam, but it has to be what I call a boring calculator. Ultimately, I use the Casio MS-80S to get through real estate school, and it's what I call a boring version. It has no functions other than type in numbers, plus, minus, multiply, divide. That's it. You can use that in your exam, and I want you to get used to using it in class. They will not let you use your cell phone or the calculator on your cell phone in the test, so don't get used to using that. Just do yourself a favor now. Bring your syllabus with you. In the Google Classroom, I have provided for you a syllabus of what to expect at every class meeting, what we should be going over that day, and how to prepare for it based on your mandatory reading in preparation for class. You'll need to bring your homework if any is assigned. I don't assign a lot of homework, but when I do, please know that it is all structured to get you ready for that exam. So homework is not optional. Please make sure that you get that done and bring it with you, or either turn it in when I've asked you to turn it in. I do not mind at all if you want to have snacks and water and have that as we're going through class. That doesn't distract me. So keep your blood sugar up and keep your body healthy and happy. That's fine. You'll also want to have your textbook, and you can have a hard copy version of that, or you can have a digital copy. We will be using the entire textbook, and everything in here is fair game for the exam. So you'll want to make sure that you've got that with you, that you have access to it. And if you don't yet have access to your textbook, please contact the school administrator so that they can work with you to either get you a digital copy or to arrange time for you to pick up a hard copy of the textbook. Please do your best to avoid having any other devices or distractions or anything like that with you or around you when you're in class. I'm going to do my best to engage you and to keep it fun and to keep the energy level high. However, I need you to meet me halfway and help me by not bringing with you things that are going to distract you. And please do not have anyone else participate in class that is not a registered participant. Now, in the virtual classroom, I'm going to ask you for one major thing, and that's respect. I want you to show respect for yourself, for your classmates, and for me and the material. So when we're using the technology, please use your mute button. Please raise your hand when you have a question, and please participate. Come with a can-do attitude, and that might be new for some of you, but ultimately, I need you to walk in here ready to succeed. I'm going to do my best to push you towards success and to challenge you and get you ready for success, and I need your help with that as well. Questions and comments are always welcome. We simply have to watch out for squirrels. So I am going to welcome your clarification questions during class time. If you have a what if question or something that is specifically related to an experience that you're going through or have gone through, please hold those and either send those to me privately or take some time offline with me to answer those questions or walk through that scenario with me. There are so many circumstances in real estate where the correct answer is it depends. But my primary purpose for class is preparing you to be able to take an exam, and having the structured, focused information is extremely necessary in order to make sure that you get there and that you're quite ready for it. Do the work, be present, and simply participate and lean in. Now, the content, again, I am primarily focused on preparing you for the North Carolina Real Estate Licensure examination. So we're going to be talking about a lot of things that are very specific. Now, in your Google Classroom, I have given you a copy of the North Carolina Real Estate Commission syllabus that goes through everything that you need to learn in order to be ready for your licensure exam. That is a brilliant thing to learn and to use as you're putting your study guide together. The pace will be very similar to what we're talking about here today. I'll be going through information with you, opening the door to you learning, and it's your job to walk through it. So I will be not going too fast and not going too slow, but please keep up. Each class is going to have a very specific focus topic that we're going to be working on, following along in our syllabus that I've planned for us. And ultimately, we're going to be nailing each topic and moving on. There are no repeats. So make sure that you're, again, present and engaged. Now, you may have a little bit of stress or anxiety about the math part of it, but I need to ask you to rest assured. No math that we're going to do in the real estate curriculum is above eighth grade level math. So we're going to be adding and subtracting, multiplying and dividing. The hardest part of the math, it doesn't matter how old you are or how long it's been since you've done math. It is simply going to be remembering formulas. So do yourself a favor and start now. As soon as I've started identifying math, which I will do in such a way that makes it as easy and accessible as we possibly can. But as soon as I start introducing math, because it will be sprinkled out throughout the class, do yourself a favor and commit now to going back and reviewing those formulas every single day up until the time that you pass your examination. Now, tutoring is available to you because there are some people that say, goodness, I just want a little bit of extra help, or that math is really stressing me out. If you're struggling in a topic with a concept or need some extra help, or simply want a little bit of one-on-one time to get some coaching, I am here for you and I am available to do that. One-on-one sessions are usually booked about 2-ish weeks in advance. And I always have time available on my schedule for current students as the priority. If you'd like a one-on-one session, an hour-long session is a $60 fee. If you'd like to participate in a group session, either in a group that you create or in one of my planned review and math group sessions that I will offer every week starting next week, then that is $35 per participant. So if you'd like information on tutoring, if you need some extra help, please remember you are not alone. I am here for you and I am here with you. Now, I need you to understand that as we learn and as we go through information, most of us spend most of our classroom time up here in the 5 to 10% passive learning mode. I want to get you down here into the lower parts of the learning pyramid where you're actually practicing doing, you're engaging, you're being active, and you are explaining information. So once a day, every day that we come to class, I want you to do 2 things. Number 1 is participate as much as you possibly can. Dig into the information and engage with me. The second thing is that after every class, I want you to choose the toughest topic that you had that day, and I want you to go and explain it to another human. And it can be somebody else in your class. It can be somebody that you live with or work with. Even if you have to, go find your goldfish or your dog. But I want you to explain it to other people because then when you're explaining something, you're teaching. And when you're teaching, you will retain 90% of the information as opposed to 10 to 20% when you're just sitting, listening, and looking at slides. Okay? So make sure that you dig in and that you're explaining the toughest topic to another human at every single class. One of the things that I've asked you to do is to go to bit.ly/RE school style to learn what your learning style is. Once you've visited that site and you've done those 20 questions, please send your learning style to me, but also pay very special attention to the bottom section that tells you how to be able to apply your learning style to your learning experience so that maybe that will help you learn a little bit about you, about the way that you learn, and about how to get the most out of your learning experience. If you have any questions about that, let me know. I do encourage note taking, but most of us have not ever done it correctly or never were taught how to do it in the first place. But here's the thing, there's only 4 steps, and number 1 is preparation. Ultimately, what do I mean by preparing? Well, quite frankly, you need to kind of know what the information is that you're walking into before you actually walk into the information. Because if you walk in and you have a map for what we're going to be covering that day, you'll kind of know what the major exits are or the major landmarks are in the learning. If you come in and you're planning on taking a trip without ever looking at the map, you might get a little overwhelmed and not know exactly what to do. And you start writing down every word that I say. So first things first, prepare. Read ahead, look at the terminology, look at the learning concepts, and make sure that you've got the information on what we're going to be covering. And then when you get into class, organize yourself, and you can do it in one of the two styles here. You can take notes directly in your textbook if you'd like, but whatever you're going to use, choose your method and then stick to it. Write less, main concepts, keywords, stories, and examples. And then, and this is the key parts, go back after class and do a summary. Write down the review and categorization of everything that we talked about and what you've taken notes on, and that will help give you clarity and give you a roadmap for what to study once we get into getting into exams. Now, you do have many available resources to you. Number one is this amazing textbook. Read through it. Look at all of the appendices. Let's see, Appendix A is a practice exam. Appendix B is all about the math. Appendix C is license laws and rules. Check out page 835. That is an entire study section and study guide on license law. I will also be sending out, as we get closer to license law, a printable version so that you can print it out and use it. But ultimately, this is on page 835 in your textbook, and one of your homework assignments throughout the class, it will be due at the end of class, second to last class, is you will rewrite license law in your own words. And you can choose to do this any way that you'd like. You can video yourself doing this. You can take an audio of it. You can type it out. You can write it as a story. It does not matter to me, but you will thank me so much when you go to take the state portion of your licensure exam, because it is the majority of it are these 67 rules that you must know like they're your own child. Okay, so use your textbook, use those available resources that are given to you here, and also use each other. Get to know your other classmates, create some study groups, but ultimately have some accountability built in so that you can work together, see what each other knows. We're also going to be using Kahoot, which is KAHOOT.com, to do some online challenges, some in person or in class, quizzes and things of that nature. So you'll want to make sure that you've either downloaded the Kahoot app or you can access it through your browser, Kahoot.com. The HPW website, hpwreschool.com, is a fantastic resource. If you open that up and you go under student resources, there are chapter notes for each chapter, there are practice exams, and there's also a Q bank that you can make an investment in. It's $99, and ultimately it has a comprehensive practice exam with thousands of different questions in it that you can go through and you can do for 10 minutes each night, or you can set up an entire mock exam for yourself. But it is highly recommended. The students that I've had that have made that investment and have used it come back with generally extremely good exam scores and generally end up passing their exam on their first try. So I cannot recommend that enough. And if you decide to make an investment in it, please send me your feedback on that as well. The other resource, when you picked up your textbook, you should have gotten a real estate licensing in North Carolina booklet. This is called the Relink. And ultimately, it has some fantastic information that we're going to hit on in just a moment in this program. But this is going to be your BFF as you go through real estate pre-licensing and post-licensing. So make sure that you've picked this up and you've read through it. Now, the Google Classroom is also another resource for you. It is the sole place where I will put all of the specific information for your classroom, including what to expect for the next class, how to prepare for it, any homework assignments, helpful resources, and things like that. So you'll access that by going to classroom.google.com and clicking on Join a Class. And you'll use the password that I gave you in your introductory email in order to access that. If you're having any trouble at all, please don't hesitate to reach out and I'll be happy to help you get in. Now, the last available resource is the North Carolina Real Estate Commission website, and you can access that by going to ncrec.gov. Now, there are two specific sections that I want you to look at there. First is under licensing, and that's where you're going to go ahead and start your application for your real estate licensure eligibility to take your exam. You cannot finish that until class has successfully completed, but you can go ahead and start that process. And as you'll look through your Relink guide, it will show you where to go, what to do, what to put in there, and all of the good information on how to get your background check and things of that nature. But the other really helpful site on the ncrec.gov page is under publications. And if you'll look there, there are versions that you can order. A lot of them are for free, as well as those that you can get a PDF electronic copy of. Things like the residential square footage guidelines, questions and answers documents and brochures on everything from offer and acceptance to home inspections to closings to fair housing and even working with real estate agents. All of these things are going to be helpful for you as you prepare for and navigate the class and the real estate exam. So I would highly recommend that you go check that out. There's also an NCREC channel on YouTube in which they have lots of great resources and videos available for information that the Real Estate Commission feels is important that you and the public know. So check those out. Now, in your, excuse me, like I said, you will go to HPW Real Estate School website and visit student resources for helpful information, practice exams, and to access that $99 QBank. And your Relink guide that you should have when you pick up your textbook. If you check out general licensing information, there is testable information as well as helpful information in this booklet. So anything from pages 3 through 6, and then at the back of the book, 25 through 27. It has application instructions, including how to start your application and start your criminal background check. I highly recommend that you start that process now. That information starts on page 7. It has information on what to expect for your broker license examination, which is on pages 13 through 18, and snuggled right there in the middle of that, you have information on your examination topics and the number of questions per topic. So while you are preparing for your real estate exam, you'll know what areas are most heavily tested. So that's essentially the information for everything for class. The last thing that I want to do is give you just a little bit of insight to me. So, hello, my name is Shannon, and I'm so ridiculously excited to be on this journey with you. Back in 2014, I decided that I was going to get my real estate broker's license after watching my mom be a real estate broker and after a career in human resources and operations excellence. I'm a North Carolina Real Estate Commission certified instructor and ridiculously proud to be able to be here and to be a pre-licensing instructor. I also am a success coach, especially focusing on real estate agents who are ready to take the next step, either to getting into the business or to growing their business. And I'm also an operations and growth consultant for other businesses, including real estate firms. Now, a little bit about me. When I got my license in September of 2014, little did I know that in 60 days, I was going to get a cancer diagnosis. I was not prepared for it, and ultimately, it really knocked my socks off for quite a bit of time. But I had just gotten my real estate business started. I had several agency agreements that I'd already signed with potential clients, and ultimately, the universe hit stop for me for a little while. I had 5 surgeries in 18 months in order to be able to kind of take my cancer and hit it with a sledgehammer. But ultimately, I came back to real estate after my 2nd surgery and before the 3rd, and ultimately came back in a little bit of a different way. I'd started out as a full broker, doing it all, buyer's agent, real estate brokerage for listings and things of that nature. But based on stamina and dealing with pain and just getting back into the swing of things, For me, it made a better decision for me to be able to come back in a little bit of a different role. And so I had a girlfriend who was in the business who had just changed firms and had joined a team and was focused on being a buyer specialist. And she invited me to come in to be her showing assistant. And so essentially, I started over again. I helped her double her business in the first 6 months that we were together. She was able to get a promotion to a different role as well. And they moved me into a buyer specialist position. And I sold millions of dollars in real estate in just my first 18 months back. From that, I got some special invitations to be able to join into firm leadership and being able to be in a coaching type of position, recruiting, bringing in new agents, talking with them about their careers, what to do next, and ultimately how to stay in business once you've chosen to be in business. And then I was stolen away and taken onto a team in team ownership and team management, where I was able to further refine my coaching and my operations excellence in the team and structure format of leadership. So for me, the next logical step as I worked with my coach was to be able to culminate that together, bring it together, and really focus on being able to help people where they are now and come into the business. And so that is where I got into instructing, because honestly, teaching's my love language. I love to be here. I love to be here for you. I love to know what your goals and your dreams are. I love to support you in it. And it's really just my passion. So outside of teaching, a little bit more about me. I love to perform. I've been a musical theater girl ever since I was 3 years old. I was singing and dancing before I was walking and talking. So these are some of my favorite roles. I have had the pleasure of playing Glinda, the Good Witch, and the Wizard of Oz now twice. So it is certified. I am a good witch. But ultimately, what I love about this is that this was the first role that I was able to come back to after my cancer journey. So that is really, it's kind of a superpowers girl right there. My favorite role ever was probably the most joyful experience that I've had on stage. And this is me as Mrs. Banks in Mary Poppins. And this is my little family unit that they are my people to this day. And the hardest role, the most challenging and demanding role, was as Mama Rose in Gypsy as well. Now, the reason that I work is to fund my love of travel. So I've been all over the country, I've been all over the world, and I still have more to see and can't wait for it. But ultimately, I leave a little piece of my heart everywhere that I go, and it is my joy to be able to meet new people, experience new cultures, and ultimately be able to see a world outside of my own backyard. So my adventures out there in the world just fund my need and my want for travel. So if you're a traveler, I invite those conversations. I love to hear about where you've gone and get recommendations on where I should go next. And lastly, I am an artist. I enjoy papercraft, watercolor painting, and otherwise anything to do with my hands. Everywhere that I go that has sea glass on a beach, I pick it up and I create a little something for it. So these are some little pieces of sea glass I picked up in Grand Turk back in 2019 and turned into some little fishies for a friend. But ultimately, I do like to paint. I do like to create. I do a little series called Create with Shannon for the Fuquay Varina Art Center. So I'm excited to have been asked to do that. I love that there are people like me who like to kind of get messy in the arts as well. So bottom line, I'm here for you. I'm here because I want to be here. I'm here because you're important to me and your journey is important to me. And ultimately, I promise you that I will be fun and I will be enthusiastic and I will push you and challenge you when necessary, but that I will always be fair to you and that I will love you through it. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting me with your real estate licensing education. And together, we're going to make something pretty amazing happen. Now, if I can be of assistance or help or support to you in any way possible, please do not hesitate to let me know. I am happy to be here for you, and I look forward to seeing you in class. Best wishes, blessings, and I'll see you soon.